Well, I can also remember that the first time they gave me 40 hours leave from the front line. I came out, I went there, and this bloke said, "Come, we find where they were." I went to this place, and this bloke playing the violin, and all these birds are all around grabbing you and all this like, you know. And I thought, well, I'll try this out. And I went upstairs, and I went up there 2 seconds. She said, "Finny?" I said, "No, I bloody ain't." I said, "If this is what it's all about, you can keep it, you know." And the other chap, he went up, and I only come down. I went down 2 minutes, and she grabbing me again. I said, "Not likely." Yeah.
Yeah, this is all being recorded.
Well, I mean, that don't matter. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, if it's going to be on, probably on their news.
I wasn't married then. I had no go on it either at that time.
How old were you?
I was 22.
22?
Yeah.
Pretty youngster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the German village, it was Kockenkochen. It was just north of Hamburg. And there was some sort of a lake there. And when I got back to my unit, it was hot weather. And all the blokes were having to swim in this blinking lake. And they had a guest house there, you know, a sort of a pub, they were, of selling weak beer, and it was weak too. And I played this piano in the back of the pub, and all of a sudden the door opens and this bird comes in. She said, listening to me play the piano, and she said, "Can you play the lullaby? Boy, anyway, I've got in with her." And and she was Danish, and she married a German. And while I was there, she sneaked off to Flensburg to try and get back into Denmark. And she got as far as Flensburg, and the Dutch authorities turned her back. They turned her back because she was no longer a Danish, she was a German subject. And she came back.
You're not getting none of my secrets.
No, you know, I mean, I wasn't the only one doing all that. I mean, all the other blokes was having a go, you know.
I was younger than you, Jim, and
oh, my.
So, you know, I had to be careful with these women.
How old were you?
I was 18.
18?
Yeah. No, sorry. 24, 44, 20, wasn't I? 20 I've been. Yeah, I was in the army before that, but I'm going by Normandy. I was 20 when I went to Normandy. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
But as I say, fortunately, I wasn't in the front line, so, you know, there's some poor others.
I was put in there.
Just got to be thankful.
At the guard the DP camp while I was in Germany, and it was just outside Hamburg, and there's all Polish girls there and whatnot, you know, and there was right blokes going around there, you know, and I was there when the Japs packed in, and I went up there, and we got to raid the billets, and we went up there. As we went up the ruddy stairs, all the Polish girls and the blokes was in bed with one another, and they all shot like rabbits out of the beds, and we all sat on a bloody box in the middle of the floor. I never seen anyone move so quick. Yeah. And they had an old grand piano there, and I'm no piano tuner, but I found this tuning thing, and I was trying to tune this blinking piano that was out of tune. And they used to say to me, "What are you trying to do?" I was trying to tune a piano. It was a damn sight bloody worse, and I started. Yeah. Then they had what they call. Then they had the Polish dances. But what the tune was, I should never know. But it was one ditty of a melody, and they kept playing it over and over and over again, the same blinking melody. And then they had a German. Must have been man and wife. They came with 2 piano accordions, and they started playing. That was our entertainment there, and all sort of it. And the girls used to go into the ruddy fields and find any cows there. Probably they would have been farmhouse girls, and they was there milking the ruddy cows in the field to get milk for themselves. Yeah.
They weren't bad days, Jim, were they? Not bad.
Well, they had at the time the military government. Now, one night they said, we'd been invited to go down to military government. We went in there and they was like bloody zombies. They're all sitting round a table and they was drinking what they call it, Steinlager? And snaps. And they was paralytic. And I took one glass of this blinking snaps and I spit it on the floor. I said, no, I don't want that stuff.
No, I didn't drink none of that, Jim.
And then they brewed a special beer because German beer wasn't worth drinking. They brewed a special beer for the troops and it was 8% volume. Now that's pretty strong. Now I didn't like it much because it was bitter, too bitter for me. I mean, I'll drink it now, but for me then it was too bitter. And you could buy what they call a tank full of beer. It might hold about 50 pints, 100 pints, whatever you like. And they used to buy this tank and put it on the table, and all had a beer glass, and they used to dip the glass in and have a good old jug. But it was too bitter for me. I couldn't stick it. And I always remember that I went in this room, and when it was delivered, and there was some German civilians in there, and they was having a go at it, you know, and I heard them say, good, 8%, that means 8%. And even some of the houses that are on out of bounds to troops, out of bounds. You know why it was out of bounds? Because the blinking officers was in there.
Yeah. Because you was in there, Jim.
No, I saw it.
You can go on telling tales, can't you?
No,
I'm not saying it. I'm saying you can go on telling tales. It's experience.
Hamburg, when we first went to Hamburg, they had no canteen. So what they don't know, the best building they could find, it was partially standing. They made it into a naffy, and it started off with a little tiny bit on the floor, you know, and they gradually built the floors up. 5 floors up, and the time I left there, you had the main bar, and you had the stage, and you used to have a big orchestra on there, and they play all the light music, you know, and then you had the big dance band that used to play, and they came from Holland actually, the band, but they went back to Holland, and the German band took over, and. That was that floor, and then the next floor was a sort of a palm court orchestra, you know, violins and all that, and then on the top floor you had the quiet part, and that's where they used to hold the church services on the top.
You sure you were in the war?
Eh?
You sure you were in the war?
Well, not then. And it was, I think it worked out at about 5 marks. We were some fair money, about 1 and 6pence at that time, 1 and 6pence. From that you got a 3-course meal, and the girls used to come up with a Hungarian goulash and soup and all that sort of thing. That was while I was in Hamburg. But once you moved out of Hamburg down to the Ruhr, into the next division, you didn't get that. You only got probably the normal nappy, or depending where you were. Yeah. But I mean, the places like Munich or not Munich, Munster, Osnabrück, all them places, you found these big nappies where you could go, and all the girls, German girls, used to line up along the counter, and you were served by one of those girls. They brought the food to your table, and I always remember Osnabrück coming back to my unit. The officer of the barracks, he was a nutter. What he used to do, when it came to meal time, he'd have it all on parade, and then you'd all have to march in column into the canteen, and all the girls was lined up at the counter, and they all had to call out their number, 1, 2, 3, and you got off what one goal or another goal, what you had it all red tape, you know what I mean?
It sounded like you've had a good war, Jim.
Oh Christ, yeah. I mean, they were the good times.
Yeah.
If you like,
yeah.
if you call them good times, but
Yeah,
That
well,
was
you
only
didn't know
when
you
the
were
war
gonna- you were
finished.
gonna be
You
here
didn't get
tomorrow, did
nothing
you?
like that in the war. But,
Yeah. That's
and of course, at that time you had all the baseballers, you know, that wasn't in the front line. They was selling cigarettes, and they was getting whatever currency they got. And so by the time they did get their leave, they started leave, they had quite a bit of amount of money in. So when it come to the infantry's turn, and as I was a W, I was last. It was always, the army's always starting to first with the A's, and I was a W and I was last. I couldn't make anything because when I got to the character exchange, they said you can only take so much money. So you only got, so all the money that you had was useless. You couldn't cash it
They
into.
used to look in your paybook, didn't they, when they paid you out?
Couldn't
Look
cash
at
it
your paybook,
into British currency.
see what money
Yeah.
you get, how much
Yeah.
you had drawn, and they only change it back English money up to that amount.
No, he's
So
making-
you've been
making the money.
fiddling on the black market.
Yeah,
No, no, that was it.
yeah.
So you still got some German marks at home?
Well, they had German marks, but what they issued they were British printed. For France, it was at that time the old French currency, francs, and they was all British currency with the French flag on and English wording. That was the currency that we had to go over with. And then I think Belgium had the same, and Holland had the same currency, and then gradually it was all it started to intermingle until you got back to the actual currency itself. But they used to look at it if you went in,
In a cafe.
see what it was all about. But once it all intermingled, it was back to the normal currency. And we got to some place near the Seine, and everyone was queuing up for this bloke who had a cafe, and he was charging 45 francs for a Calvados and coffee. And I bought this blinking Calvados and coffee, I spit it out, it was vile. The coffee was black, and the Calvados, oh, it's terrible ruddy stuff. And I also remember there was one house, and I went blind. There was lines and lines and lines of blokes trying to get in. There was three prostitutes in this French ceremony.
Here we go.
And they wasn't our units, there was other units as well,
Yeah.
all queuing up to get in there. You know, they really ripped you off, you know, they're whacking you up for prices for this and that and the other. You know, I went to Brussels when I for this 48 hours, and I went into this place. It said steak and chips. I went in, I eating it, and it was all had onions in it, you know. And I was eating it and eating it. And I got to the last bit. I looked up on the wall. It says horse meat sold here. Oh bloody hell!
Yeah, no
Without the
difference,
ruddy
was there?
door.
No
I thought it was too good to be true. Yet that. Oh dear. Yeah. It's a funny thing, you know. I mean, this place Gotch, and there was 4 Germans wanted to give themselves up when they was in the house. We went in, they was in there standing in there unarmed, and funny, the blokes was talking with them. They were all giving us fags round, having a good old jaw. You know, so we never ever fought the people, and I often wonder what they got done to them when they got back further to the back areas. You know, they seem like the same chaps like us, you know, and
Only a different uniform.
yeah, different uniform. Yeah, showed us their photos of their wives and their children, and
Yeah. Thanks a lot, gents.